Here we go again. India versus Pakistan at an ICC event. And yes, there's plenty of build up, as there always is. And we hope that the contest lives up to the expectation. For now, on ESPN Cricinfo Runorder, we had a thought. The thought was there's something changed in the way the players from one team look at the players from the other. They've had fierce rivalries through history. Unfortunately, it's limited to just ICC events. But are we in a time now where we're not really looking at players who see each other as equals? That naughty thought that Dustin Salgado put in my head will be extended on ESPN Cricinfo Runorder in the august presence of Anil Kumble and Sanjay Manjrekar. And to balance out perspective, Osman Samiuddin is here as well as Urooj Mumtaz. Dustin, tell me why you had this thought, because we've seen off late, it looks like when Pakistan play India, all the big names of Pakistan are looking at the Indian players and going, "Shit, we're getting to play these guys. We're in awe almost."
Yeah, just to set it up, I think the idea came because the last time India played Pakistan in 2023, just before the World Cup, they played the Asia Cup. And if you remember, there was a rained out game at the Asia Cup. So the teams got to spend a lot of time together and there was a lot of friendliness between the teams. I think Shaheen Afridi gifted something to Jasprit Bumrah. There was Virat Kohli and Shadab Khan were having such a good time together that there were memes created about it on the internet saying that every time...
Why is this bothering you so much that they were friendly to each other? Yeah.
Because I still remember the days when, even Champions Trophy going back to 2004, when Rahul Dravid and Shoaib Akhtar would clash. Even somebody like Dravid would actually be more intense than usual in an India-Pakistan game. There were many other incidents, Gambhir and Afridi. But it feels like now everything has simmered down. And there is this overtone of, well, these Indian players, like you said, are such big megastars that I don't know whether it's just for show, but the Pakistani players seem to not want to really provoke them in any way or get into it with them.
I'd like to go back to the time in the 90s when Pakistan was the strongest side and they beat India more often. And we all knew deep down, that they just got quality players. They had a better fast bowling attack. They had a greater captain than we ever had in Imran Khan. And the hype was still there in India-Pakistan matches and Pakistan would end up winning. And it wasn't like we were shocked by it or there could be the odd win that India would have. But I used to dream at the time that wish India, played a bit like Pakistan. The kind of fast bowling skill, the attitude, they used to play the cut and the pull against the fast bowlers a lot more. We were a little conservative in the way we batted and bowled as well. We had a medium pace culture. Pakistan just loved express fast bowlers. Anybody who bowled at 125 kilometers per hour wasn't allowed to enter the dressing room. So that kind of, Pakistan, they had that kind of an image. And it's not nice to see, but over the years, I've seen that completely change. Whereas the other way around, the only thing I'll say that while we were weaker to Pakistan, we didn't look as weak as today's Pakistan team looks against India.
I know Sanjay has always had a very soft corner for the great Imran Khan. And he's sort of this one would to him. But yeah, I mean, he was one of the top captains for Pakistan and no two ways about that. One thing that has changed over the years is not just the fast bowling, but also the quality of batsmanship in Pakistan. When you look at the names that, of the past, Saeed Anwar, you've had Inzamam ul Haq, Mohammad Yusuf, Yunus Khan, Ijaz Ahmed. You just look at Basit Ali in one-day cricket. And of course, I'm not even going to Javed Miandad and Salim Malik. But if you look at the quality of batting that they had to now, where a Babar Azam is sort of compared or put on the same pedestal as Virat Kohli, Kane Williamson, Joe Root, Steve Smith. But in terms of ability itself, someone like an Inzamam would carry the team along and single-handedly win matches. And that's something that I don't think this Pakistan lineup has that quality. So yes, when it comes to having that, I'm not saying, you felt intimidated or whatever. You had that respect of playing Pakistan, knowing that they had the quality. Whereas now it's the other way around. I don't see, how Pakistan can look India in the eye in terms of their ability to put together a batting lineup that has the ability to sort of intimidate the Indian bowlers.
There isn't that intimidation factor from Pakistan to the opposition anymore. We might have those stars. Primarily, I feel the social media aspect of it is the biggest stardom as opposed to on the cricket field for Pakistan off late. You look at guys like Shaheen Shah Afridi, Naseem Shah. It's not the same attitude or the fierce rivalry as Shoaib Akhtar. Shoaib Akhtar would walk up to you, stare you down in the face. There's stories of him, obviously, with his hair fluttering. Even up till the likes of even up till Umar Gul, it was a different factor, and obviously go beyond that. Imran Khan, in his own right, probably arguably one of the best captains world cricket has seen. But I still feel there was a discussion between me and Sanjay and yourself, Ronak, the other day about ability and then the quality. I think that also has an overarching effect on this. When you feel there is maybe a lack in your ability compared to the others, that you can't really stare the opposition down. Also, I feel the IPL has a huge impact on where the Indian cricketers of this generation are, where they play the best teams or the best players in the world. And
I like what you said about social media, actually. It's almost like, it's like when a young Indian cricketer comes into this team and sees Kohli and Rohit, and they've watched them, followed them, and know that these guys are 300 million plus followers on social and people they grew up watching. It almost feels like the Pakistanis also look at least the big stars like that. But, the quality thing, it shouldn't matter is what I think, because when India play Bangladesh, India will hammer Bangladesh. But Bangladesh play India with disdain. Like, they almost come with this intent to, it's the other extreme. They want to go out of their way to get in their face. And somehow it's not clearly the same subcontinental sentiment with Pakistan, if that makes any sense. Osman?
I don't think they get intimidated that way, but ultimately, the bottom line is that they just have not been, for a while now, Pakistan has not been a good cricket side. Whichever format you look at, they're just not good enough. Now, that's partly generational. They haven't been able to produce a good generation of talent, but it's also very structural and very boring for this kind of show, very boring problems that they've had for a long time in the way that they run, in the way they're producing their cricketers. But, the intimidation, I think more than the intimidation, it's respect. They see Indian cricketers as, and, having spoken to some Pakistani players over the years, a few over the years as part of the job, I think they see Indian cricketers and others as well, actually, Australians and English cricketers, as partaking in a world of cricket that they've been excluded from. They can't play in the IPL. They don't play for a lot of IPL-owned franchises and other leagues around the world. And I think that sense is there, that they do feel kind of marginalized a little bit.
I was just thinking about the time that Shahid Afridi wrote his autobiography and said he saw Tendulkar's legs trembling when Shoaib Akhtar bowled to him, and how unlikely it is that any Pakistan cricketer, or for that matter even an Indian cricketer, would say that about somebody from the other country now, how it's become very sort of nice and friendly.
There are not enough cricketers that have a talent for drama. We need more of that, which is what we were hoping for.
I'm just imagining if Pakistan, the same kind of talent that you have and still badly run back home, just had more matches to be played in England, Australia, if we had a consistent kind of number of matches for every team that's a test playing nation, that exposure, plus just a fictional situation if more and more Pakistani players played in the IPL, and just, the attention that you get, or the stardom, the money as well, I'm sure somewhere it will start, affecting the players in the right way.
A few years back, if you had looked at guys like Babar, like Rizwan, like Shaheen, like Naseem, you would say that you have 4 or 5 players there who, if they're developed properly, can actually form the core of a good, strong side. Maybe across formats. You would have said that based on just the way you see their talent and their potential. You'd say, okay, these are 5 guys. We can build at least 2 format teams out of these guys over the next 5 years. But for that team to be built, yes, they need exposure in bigger leagues and against bigger opponents, but also, I think as important, if not more, is that they need to be managed domestically just as well.
Yeah, I have a question for Urooj, which is would you want to see more fire from the Pakistan team? For example, even recently Haris Rauf was asked about getting hit for those 2 sixes by Kohli, and everything he said was, Kohli is such a great player, he can do that to any bowler. Would you like to see more fire from him by saying, I will get him back, I'm looking forward to bowling to him again, or something like that, like the way, say, Shoaib responded after the 2003 World Cup?
100%. I mean, why not? Because yes, you want to give respect to the opposition, but you don't want to put yourself down by not talking about themselves. I think it comes back to an amalgamation of all the problems spoken about. There is a lack of self-belief at the heart of it, which then translates into the way they talk, the way they approach the game. They obviously feel maybe sometimes as second fiddle. There's absolutely no harm. Yes, you don't cross a line with respect, but there was absolutely no harm if Haris Rauf would have gone, fine, Kohli had the better of me on that day, but I can get the better of him. You don't cross a line of respect. It's still in good sportsmanship that he could have get that. But even now, when you tell them to talk up an India-Pakistan game, it's a very mellow approach. It's more fan-centric. And I just don't feel there's enough push there. But I think it's an amalgamation. Leadership, like Anil said, I think we've lacked massive leadership in the past maybe 6-7 years. Where the same, you put Imran Khan into this group of players, and I think all of us can vouch for the fact that the attitude on the field would be far different. Haris Rauf would probably not be saying the same things.
Like, you'd love to see Haris Rauf do something like that, but then you also fear for his social media timelines after he does something like that, because you know that anytime he gets hit for like a boundary, and it's a real thing, I think, for players now, that anytime he has a bad performance, that's going to be in his face on all social media for like the rest of time, you know. So I don't know, maybe that plays into it a little bit. I know certainly from my experiences of players and how they use and view social media that it has unfortunately become a little bit of a concern in how they present themselves on and off the field.
Right, we leave it there. I guess that everyone is of the opinion that this rivalry has become very decent. Do we still want to see, hands up whoever wants to see a little more fire? No? I'm just asking the dumb question again and again after you've given me all
I just
the...
want to see more equality on the field, man. I just want to see a rivalry. Right now, it's not. I just want to see a rivalry on the field.
Excellent. Yeah, and it is important. Otherwise, the next documentary, Osman, you'll have to contribute for will not have the same... You know, we won't have Sehwag and Shobhit doing their thing. We need it. We need it. Right. Thank you so much, Anil Kumble, Sanjay Manjrekar, Urooj Mumtaz, Osman Samiuddin, Dustin. Yeah, it's a goody rivalry.